Alright guys, now I'm going to speak about depreciation, okay, which we have done in class last week. Right, depreciation refers to when the value of something goes down over time. Okay, so depreciation refers to when the value of something goes down over time. The value of a car is usually decreases in value with time. Therefore, its value is said to depreciate. Right, there are two types of depreciation now. I will be speaking about them with the examples. Okay, right, let's see. Okay, the first type of depreciation, guys, that we will be speaking about now is straight line depreciation. Right, the straight line depreciation is this. I'm just going to give you an example. Right, say I have a phone, guys. I bought this phone for just going to quickly give you an example. Right, 5,000 Rand. Hmm. Okay, so now I bought this phone now for 5,000 Rand. And the year is what? 2020. And then this phone, guys, loses 1,000 Rand from its value every year. Okay, every year, the same amount, fixed amount for 1,000 Rand. So since I bought this phone for 5,000 Rand this year, guys, next year this phone will be 1,000 less than what it is now. So then when the year is in 2021, the phone is going to be how much? 5,000. It's going to lose the 1,000 of value. It's going to be 4,000, right? So then in 2022, guys, again, this phone is going to lose another 1,000 of value, right? Because every year it's fixed amount, 1,000 Rand. So now in 2022, guys, it's going to be how much? 3,000 Rand. Right? Gonna do one more year. In 2023, guys, this phone is going to be how much? It's going to be 2,000. Right. So I buy a phone for 5,000 Rand now, and this phone will lose its value, right, for 1,000 Rand every year. Obviously, after 1 year, then the phone, it's brand new now, it's 5,000, because now, as soon as you get that phone, right, it's going to be second hand. Next year, it's going to be 4,000 Rand. And then the year after, it's going to lose another 1,000, will be 3,000. And the next year is going to be 2,000. So we say when the product is losing the value by the same amount every year, then we call this type of depreciation, right? Straight line depreciation. So it's depreciating, right? With a certain amount, with a fixed amount every year, okay? 1,000. Right? So this type of depreciation is called straight line depreciation, as you can see here, guys. Then the formula for that is this. A equals to, and we know these letters, what they stand for, right? A equals, which is the final amount after. A equals to P, which is the previous amount, the initial amount, right? Times in the bracket 1 minus interest rate times number of years. Okay, so now I'm going to do this example here. Okay, you see this example, you shouldn't get confused with this. It says the car is worth now 240,000, right? It depreciates at a rate of 15% per annum on straight line depreciation. What is it? Well, in 5 years' time. So first I need to find, because here the value, the amount that is depreciating is not given to us. What is given? The percentage of that amount. So I'm going to find what is 15% of this 240,000, because that is the amount that this car will lose for 1 year. It's just like simple interest. Once I find that amount, every year I know that this car will lose the same amount, right, every year. So I then will be able to calculate after 5 years what this car's price will be. So now the car is 240,000. Okay, I'm gonna do this now without using the formula. I'm just for you to get the logic behind this. Okay, times 15%. Okay, let's see what is 15% of that. So if I quickly do 15% of 240,000, guys, 240,000 times 15%, that will be, right, equals to 36,000. Okay, so the 15% of 240,000, guys, is 36,000. In other words, this 36,000 is the amount of, right, the money that this car will depreciate every year. So this car, right, it means this car will lose 36,000 rand of its value for 1 year. Then remember we said for straight line depreciation, once we know, right, what that amount is, every year we take out the same amount. So now, if in 1 year this is the amount that will be depreciating, the question is saying after 5 years, right? Then can I say now to find that, guys, I'm going to say 36,000, because remember straight line, the value that is depreciation is fixed. So once we find it, every year it will lose that much. So this means every year this car is losing 36,000 from its value. Right. So the question says after 5 years, I'm going to time this by 5 to see after 5 years how much money it will lose. 5 times 36,000, guys, is going to be 180,000. Okay. This 180,000, guys, is the amount of the money for 5 years that this car will lose, this car will depreciate. Okay, so basically I bought a car now, it's 240,000 rand, and this car is going to lose the value of 36,000, right, every year. So after 5 years, right, because the car is losing 36,000 of its value every year, after 5 years, right, the total value that it will be losing is 180,000. I bought this car for 240,000. The question is saying, right, what is worth in 5 years time? So basically, what will be the price of this car after 5 years? If this is the amount of money it will lose from its value. So I am going to say that 240,000, right? I bought it for this money, and this car lost 180,000 of value. So let's see how much it will worth now. Right, so guys, 240,000 minus 180,000 is going to be 60,000. So guys, we both account for 240,000. This guy is depreciating 15% per annum. So, okay. So we found that the 15% is 36,000. So this means that this guy is losing 36,000 rand of its value every year. And after 5 years, it will lose 180,000 rand of its value. So now I bought this car for 240,000. After 5 years, this car is worth 60,000, right? Okay. Okay, this was just for you to get the logic, guys, behind it. You don't have to go all through all this, because if you put it in the formula, then everything will work out for you. But again, straight line depreciation, guys, it's fixed amount of the value that is depreciating. Once you find what that is, or in other words, the example I gave from class quickly, I'm going to say that, right? In the example of the phone, I bought this phone for 5,000 rand, and this phone is going to lose 1,000 rand of its value every year. The next year, this one is going to be 4,000 rand. After 2 years, it's going to be 3,000. After 3 years, it's going to be 2,000. After 4 years, it's going to be 1,000. And so every year, as you can see, it's losing the same amount of value. Okay. Right. If we put this in formula, guys, it's going to be like this. You see, A equals to. We don't know what A is. Okay, let me use another color. Right. A, the final amount, equals to now 240,000. That is our P. Open the bracket, say 1 minus interest rate, which is this, right? Okay, times, and what is the number of the years? In how many years time? Times 5. Okay, so Right, so if we work this out again, guys, this is going to be 180,000. That is the total money that will be depreciating. Then I'm going to say 240,000 minus 180,000. Okay, so that will be equals to 60,000 again. Right, so this is, guys, how it is. Then the second type, it just is more like a simple interest. And then the next type of depreciation, that is going to be like a compound interest. So if the a product is losing the value of the fixed value every year, then that is right straight line depreciation. But now when we go to, okay, the next one, which is going to be right, reducing balance depreciation, it's now here what is going to happen is this is compound, right, like compound interest, and then the only thing that is fixed here is the percentage. Every year this right, whatever it is losing the same amount of the same percentage over the remaining amount. Okay, so if you put it in the formula, you don't need all this information, obviously, because everything will be there for you. But for you to understand, you need to know why we're doing this. Right. It said the flamingo population of the Bag River mouth is depreciating on a reducing balance at a rate of 12%. Right. So there is now 3,200 flamingos, and then in the wetlands of the Berg River mouth, how many will there be in 5 years' time? So now, how many flamingos are there? 3,200. Okay. And then next year, which, okay, according to this, the reducing balance depreciation, next year, right, will be 12% of 3,200 less flamingos. So I need to find what is that 12%, right, times 12%. Okay, just quickly, I'm gonna find it out now. The 12% of this, guys, is going to be 384. Okay, so this means, guys, now this year we have 3,200 flamingos. Next year will be, let's say this is 2020. Okay, this is the amount of flamingos we have. So 2021, what is going to happen is this 3,200 minus 384, right? That equals to, okay, minus 384. It's going to be 2,816. So in 2021, guys, there will be 2,816 flamingos, because every, now this year, right, it was 3,200, and then it's going to be 12% less. It will depreciate by 12%. Now, remember with compound interest, every year we look at the amount and we take the percentage of that, right? The interest of that. So now here again, we're going to do this. We're going to look how many flamingos now we have. 2,816. Now I'm going to take 12% of this. Okay, let me find out. 2,816 times 12%. That, okay, I'm just gonna do year 2022. Right. So first I'm gonna find what is this 2,816 times 12%. So that equals to 330, 337. Okay, comes with the decimal. I'm not gonna write the decimal now. So 337. That means from 2021 to 2022, right? This the number of flamingos will depreciate by 337. In other words, it's going to be 337 less flamingos. I'm gonna say 200 there to find how many will be the in 2022. 208,016 minus 337. That will be how much? Okay, so that will be 2,816 minus 337 will be, right, 204,079. Right. So every year we're going to do this. Now for 2023, what I'm going to do, I'm going to find 12% of 2,479 because that's the amount that I have for that year. Then I find what is 12% of that, then I'll subtract that. Again, I will find that and subtract, find and subtract. So when, right, it's depreciating by the same percentage, guys, it's called reducing balance depreciation, and it's more like compound interest. When it's depreciating by the same amount, right, then it is a straight line depreciation. The same amount is this. We said we bought this phone for 5,000. Every year it loses 1,000 rand. So, right, then next year will be 4,000, and the year after will be 3,000. That's so it goes like that. But now, when it is depreciating by the the same percentage, right? Every year we take the percentage off, right? However many flamingos are there or whatever it is. You take the percentage of that, you subtract that, what is there, then you take the same percentage of that again every year, so you can repeat that the same thing. Right, so once you get the logic there, guys, you're gonna to know that you don't need to do all of that. So all you need to do is this: A equals to, right, B is what? Look at this here, 3,200, right? That equals to 1 minus interest rate is what? Is this 12%? Okay. Let me write 12% like this. Okay, 0, 12. Okay, and then it's gonna be to the power of, and where what is, and it says in 5 years time. Then 5 years time it's going to be that. So if you work out, guys, then you will get something out of this. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to calculate now because I don't have a calculator with me. I don't want to do it. It's going to take long, but all this is what you guys need to do. Okay, so like I said, you don't need to go through all that the stuff I show you, because you put everything in the formula, then you will be sorted. You will get the answer. Okay, so and then I'm sure you know this, guys, how it works, because you're going to say 1 minus 0, 12. Let me do it. Mm-hmm. Mm. Okay, so it's okay. Let me see where the calculator here. Okay, I can't seem to find the calculator. Is one. What you're gonna do is 1 minus 0.12, which will be 0.88 to the power of 5 times 3,200, and then your answer is going to be 1,660, something like that. Okay, so this is how we do it, guys. Right? I hope you understood. Of course, you understand because I explained it. I'm sure you understood.